Some of my favourite things to do on this channel is to look at the flat earth documentaries. We originally looked at the imaginatively titled Level back in 2021, totally debunking it across 3 videos. Then a year later in 2022 we looked at The Next Level, again leaving it in tatters. And you'll be delighted to hear that a 3rd documentary has been made, one in which they think is a game changer, and it's called Level With Me. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, Simon Dan. Yes, I am back from my break. Thank you very much for joining me. Now, before we begin today, a quick thank you to the sponsors of today's video, Raycon. Raycon is on a mission to prove that you shouldn't have to pay an arm and a leg for quality sound or essential smart tech listening features. It is a no BS product. Thanks to Raycon, you're paying half the price for the same, if not better quality earbuds. Now, summer has officially started here on the south coast of the UK, which means I'm out in the garden listening to my playlist whilst pottering around doing little jobs here and there. Now, the best thing about Raycons is the incredible 8 hours of playtime. It's really, really good. And the crystal clear, cool quality. It's like having a chat with my neighbour across the garden fence. Listen, Raycon knows that in this economy, every purchase needs to be perfect. They offer buy now, pay later options where you can pay as little as $18 at the checkout. They offer free domestic shipping, or they can ship internationally for a flat fee. And they've got an easy and free return guarantee. So it's no wonder that Raycon has over 50,000 5-star reviews. Click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/SimonDan to get 15% off your first purchase of Raycons. Right, back to today's video, which, as I said, is the first part of a mini-series looking at the new Flat Earth documentary, Level With Me. Today we're going to take a look at the first 10 minutes or so, so let's get on with it.
Okay, level with me here. There's this idea that we live on a ball and it's spinning and traveling through space at unfathomable speeds, yet you can't measure it, you can't repeat it or observe it. At this point it becomes a religion. What are you holding on to? Do you care what other people think? Are you just worried what your friends and family are going to say? Is it your satellites? Is it your aliens? There are no satellites in the vacuum of space. Satellites are satelloons.
Well, we're off to a flyer, aren't we? Satelloons? I'm assuming he means that all satellites are just balloon satellites suspended above what he believes is a plane. Well, as of the time of filming, using the website Orbiting Now, we can see that there are currently 7,915 objects orbiting Earth as we speak. Now, most of those are in low Earth orbit, but it is an orbit all the same. Additionally, I don't think a weather balloon can propel an object 27,000 miles an hour. Do you?
You're aliens. Let's say you're an outer space alien fanatic. What if I told you you can have your aliens too? That they come from outer space, not upper space, but outer space.
Now, this is Flat Earth Millionaire, who I once won $200,000 from in a video challenge. Still waiting for that, by the way. And he is making the classic misunderstanding here that space is up because he believes he lives on a giant space pizza. Now, it is up, of course, from a gravitational perspective, which means it's also outer because everything below our feet downwards is inner, towards the inside of our planet.
They are extraterrestrials. Terrestrial meaning terrain, meaning land. So what is it? What's stopping you? You've never seen curvature with your own eyes. You never felt the earth spinning. You've never been able to observe and measure these claims. So at this point it becomes a religion. Do you want to become free? What if there's thousands upon thousands of other continents? What if there is an actual creator? This place was designed for a purpose. This isn't an accident.
Yes, because designing a world with creatures that 99% of the time can or want to kill you is a great idea. If this world truly had a designer, then why make things hard to get? Why make the ocean non-drinkable? Why make it intentionally difficult to extract and process minerals from the Earth's surface? You get my point.
Would your life change? We're all supposed to live in abundance. We're all supposed to be here for a purpose and learn and love and live.
Got no problem with that whatsoever. It makes me wonder why these people care so much about the shape of the Earth if that truly is their attitude.
Being on a ball from an accident of a Big Bang evolved from monkeys.
Monkey-like ancestors, actually.
That's no way to live. That's no way to perceive life. You're an accident. You have no purpose. What's stopping you?
Being an accident doesn't mean you can't have a purpose. Coming into existence by chance doesn't mean you can't have a purpose. Now that is a very dogmatic and narrow-minded way to think, which is a way of thinking more likened to religion than knowing that the Earth is a globe.
Look out here. There's no curvature.
Well, not in your backyard, no.
120,000 feet, 30,000 feet, it's nowhere to be seen. Where's the curve? It's time to pay attention. It's time to wake up. It's time to become free.
Now, with all due respect, you lot have been saying this for almost 10 years. 10 years, guys. No one is really interested in waking up to the reality that you're selling. You're done, mate. It's over.
8, 7, 6. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
On January 28, 1986, CNN watched the Challenger launch live on the air with its viewers.
Oh my days, change the record. Come up with something new.
They and the other media outlets told you that the astronauts died in the explosion. But as always, there is an agenda behind every mainstream headline.
And what agenda exactly would you have regarding the death of 7 astronauts?
This morning it looked as though they were not going to be able to get off.
1 minute 15 seconds, velocity 2,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles, downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Looks like a couple of the solid rocket boosters blew away from the side of the shuttle in an explosion.
Flight controllers here looking very carefully at the situation. Obviously a major malfunction. We have a report from the flight dynamics officer that the vehicle has exploded.
Today is a day for mourning and remembering. Nancy and I are pained to the core by the tragedy of the Shuttle Challenger. We know we share this pain with all of the people of our country. This is truly a national loss.
And it was a terrible accident which upon investigation looks like it could have been avoided. Richard Feynman himself was key in figuring out what went wrong. Now he discovered that an O-ring seal on one of the solid rocket boosters failed because of the particular cold weather that day. Now watch this.
Oh, I took the stuff that I got out of your seal and I put it in ice water. And I discovered that when you put some pressure on it for a while and then undo it, it maintains, it doesn't stretch back, it stays the same dimension. In other words, for a few seconds at least, and more seconds than that, there's no resilience in this particular material when it's at a temperature of 32 degrees. I believe that has some significance for our problem.
Genius.
The 7 NASA astronauts supposedly killed in the 1986 Challenger disaster did not die in the explosion and are quietly living out their lives in the US, with many of them hiding in plain sight, using their same names and working at high levels in the same fields they worked in before the disaster.
Yes, because if you were part of a government cover-up that involved you living a secret life because you were supposed to be dead, you'd absolutely use the same name and work in the same field, wouldn't you? Now this is what makes me laugh about flat earthers. Not once when this theory started circling did one flat earther say, well that's a bit rubbish, isn't it? We'd absolutely change your name.
According to explosive evidence uncovered by investigators.
We've located 6 out of 7 of them.
Ah, by investigators, you of course mean David Weiss of the channel DITRH. The man who has been debunked more times than I can remember.
In the world of deception, it's really easy to say this person is that person, and there's a lot of that going on, muddying the waters. But 6 out of 7 have identical names. They work for universities, most of them.
There were no people in the Challenger. That was a hoax. That's been proven conclusively by researchers and reporters, investigators, who have found that those supposed people that were in the Challenger are still alive today.
Oh, are they, Santos? This man here is David Weiss Halavini. Looks strikingly like our own David Weiss, but with a beard. Something you aren't telling us, David. This man is Newcastle Knights player Mark Sargent. Been playing a bit of rugby when you were younger, Mark? My point is, it's not hard to find people that have the same name that look a bit similar.
We remember Dick Scobie, the commander who spoke the last words we heard from the Space Shuttle Challenger. We remember Michael Smith. We remember Judith Resnick. We remember Krista McAuliffe. We remember Ellison Onizuka. We remember Ronald McNair.
Now these are all fully explainable, as you will see.
People still think the Challenger exploded with these astronauts. It was a horrible thing. Never happened. Yes, the rocket exploded. There was no one on board.
So imagine you're at the launch of the Challenger. This is a historic moment and it blows up in midair. Whether you are personally related to somebody on there or don't know anybody, you're going to be a mess. This is an emotional, incredible scene. And CNN was reporting and they told the cameraman, let's get a live shot of Krista's parents. And when they zoomed in on them, they were giggling, they were laughing, they were smiling. I don't know how you can put a smile on someone's face, even if you told them the funniest joke in the world at that very moment. Just look at their face. Is that the face of somebody whose daughter just blew up in the most horrific, violent accident ever? Or is that somebody playing a role, not knowing that they're on camera and thinking about the money that they may have gotten?
Her parents probably didn't know what was going on at first. They're not regular viewers of NASA. They don't know exactly what's happening all the time. And as usual with flat earthers, if you look at the footage properly with the sound, you can see that these images were captured before NASA confirmed that there had been an explosion.
You can hide somebody that's allegedly dead right in plain sight. All you have to do is move them a little farther away, give them a different job, claim that they're somebody else.
But with the same name? Sure, David. Sure.
You don't even need to change their name.
Well, you sort of do, don't you? If you don't want people to get suspicious. I mean, it would probably be the first job, wouldn't it?
So statistically speaking, the odds that almost everyone on the Challenger have exact lookalikes with exact names still existing is kind of laughable, honestly.
And I'm sure you can show us, Witsit, can't you? The maths regarding this statistical humour. No, you can't. Oh, okay.
Exact doppelgangers existing in the world with the same names, and when confronted they get very nervous and their stories begin to conflict and they have the same mannerisms. You know, it doesn't take a lot to put it together, honestly.
The thing is, they're not exact doppelgangers. They look a bit like them at best. And by the way, confronting these people in public is an absolute disgrace. If that was me and I kept getting confronted, then I'd be annoyed. I'll tell you to do one.
Let's start with former NASA astronaut Michael J. Smith, with the same name as this retired professor from the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Michael Smith. Michael Smith. I wonder how many Michael Smiths there are in America.
Are you Michael Smith?
Yeah.
Professor at university?
Retired.
Retired?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just stopped by because there's this room. Are you aware of that there's a rumor on the internet?
It's not me.
That people are saying...
Yeah, it's not me, obviously. I mean, anybody that looks at my background, looks where I was born, it's not me.
And he's bang on. Michael J. Smith of the Challenger mission was born in 1945 in Beaufort, North Carolina. He went on to become an advanced jet plane instructor in the Navy before flying in the Vietnam War and then becoming a test pilot. He joined NASA in 1980. Michael Smith, the professor, was born in Madison, Wisconsin and worked in health and safety for most of his life. Now this is a photo of Michael Smith, the professor, in 1990, just over 3.5 years after the Challenger disaster. You really expect us to believe that these are the same people?
I mean, it's interesting that the Michael J. Smith that was the astronaut looks something like me when we were younger, but really not if you really look at facial recognition.
You never been a pilot, never been in the military?
Nothing like that.
Huh.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I don't respond to the emails I get. I get probably an email, maybe 2 a month.
Really?
Yeah, and I got one guy that's been really hounding me, and I turned it over to the FBI.
Okay. Yeah, you just sure look alike. It's the same name.
I know the facial thing, but that's what we looked like, what, 40 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Michael J. Smith, identical looks, dimples the same, teeth the same. There's really no denying it.
Are you really, David, saying that whilst these two photos are on the screen, that their teeth are the same? Look at them. University Professor Michael's two front teeth are overlapping his incisors next to them. NASA Michael's incisors are all flush with each other. The other thing to take note of is their ears. Totally different. Now granted, they look a bit alike, but that is not the same person.
And before he could finish the question, Michael denied it. Oh, that's not me, you know, and laughed it off. What's he going to say? Oh, you got me?
He says he gets around 2 emails a month about it. He's clearly annoyed about the constant questions.
Not going to happen.
The driveway footage of Michael J. Smith, that's real. I mean, that can't be a deep fake, you know, so at some point you got to stop trusting liars.
We don't hide our space program. We don't keep secrets and cover things up. We do it all up front and in public.
Next is former NASA astronaut Judith Resnick with an exact doppelganger working at Yale University. 37 years have passed and she hasn't even changed her name. Side by side, there's no denying it. When she's approached, she has a very odd way of not responding.
Hey, Judy? Judy. How you doing? I'm from the press. I just had a quick question, if you don't mind.
What press? I'm
from a radio station in San Bernardino. I know there's a conspiracy about the space shuttle. No, I want to be polite. Friendly, just a question. So there's a lot of rumors about you being on that space shuttle. Obviously, you know, if you want to comment, we would really appreciate it.
Kind of odd that Judith is in full panic mode when realising the press is in her presence.
Not odd at all. And it wasn't panic mode, it was annoyed mode, and I don't blame her.
She's no stranger to being in the spotlight. She even made her way into Hollywood for a quick cameo.
As an American hero.
Again, they do not look the same. Teeth are different, noses are different, eyebrows are different, and by the way, Judith Resnick was a professor of law at Yale, as well as working for NASA. Incredible work ethic there. This is Professor Judith in 1990, again only 3.5 years later, looking nothing like NASA Judith. Well, I don't know about you, but I think I need a bit of a break for this one. We will pick up again next month to continue this comprehensive debunk of Level With Me. It's going to take a few videos, maybe up to 5, but I want to debunk all of it comprehensively. So for now, that means we're all done and dusted for another Flat Earth Friday. Thank you so much for watching. It truly is appreciated. If you enjoyed it today, please do consider subscribing to the channel. I'll put a link in the description for the other Flat Earth documentary debunks. I think there's another 6 videos from the 2 separate documentaries. And of course, if you really liked today's video, hit that like button. Just enough time to once again thank Raycon for sponsoring today. Remember, visit buyraycon.com/SimanDan to get 15% off your first purchase of Raycons. I've been Simon Dan. It's great to be back. Have yourselves a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Tuesday for the return of Matrix Discoveries. See you then.